Hi yogis, my name is Emma, and today in our yoga session we're going to go for a walk in the woods. So we're going to get stretching, we're going to get tall, and we're going to create some animals with our bodies. So what you'll need today is a space to practice in and a cushion or blanket to do our crow pose later. So we're going to start by warming up our bodies, and I want you to imagine that you've just woken up. We're going to take a big deep stretch. So take your arms up over your head, go ahead and stretch as high as you can, and then we're going to stretch over to the side and to the other side, and we're going to reach our arms out as far as they'll go. We're going to rotate around, so you're bringing your hand across your body. See how far you can see behind you, and rotate the other way, looking all the way behind you, and let's stretch forward, bringing your hands as far as you can in front of you and all the way back. And we're going to come into a crab now, just to stretch out our legs. So reach one leg up as high as you can, wave it in the air, and the other leg, stretching out our back and our shoulders. And we're going to come back to the mat. So we want to imagine that we are taking our dog for a walk today in the woods. So let's go ahead and go into a dog pose. And the dog is very excited. So it's running up and down the kitchen, waiting to be taken for a walk. So let's run out our dogs, bending one knee and then the other. And you can run your feet to your hands and back again a few times. You can wag our tails, but don't forget to do both legs. And the dog is so excited it chases the cat. So let's come down into cat pose and arch our backs like an angry cat. And then we're going to come up and we're going to walk mindfully to the woods. So I want you to come, and if you have a yoga mat, we're going to walk around it. If you just have a little space to practice in at home, then walk around that space. And I want you to pick up your feet very slowly, pointing your toes as you walk, really noticing where your feet go on the mat or on the floor, and putting your toes down first and then your whole foot. So we're going to walk all the way around the mat as slowly and mindfully as you can. And then coming back, we're going to come into the woods, and the first thing we see, of course, is a tree. So come into your tree pose. Now when we balance, it's really good to look at something on the ground in front of you, to keep your eyes fixed on that thing. We call it a drishti point in yoga, and that helps you stay still and balanced. So we're going to take some big deep breaths. Imagine you are strong and tall like a tree, that your roots go down from your toes down into the ground. Let's take one more big breath in and big breath out, and then we're going to swap legs. Big breath in, big breath out. If you're feeling really strong and you're not wobbling, you can bring your arms up and over your head, or just keep your hands next to your heart. See how still you can make your tree. One more big breath, keeping your eyes on that drishti point. And we're going to come down to our mats, because around the trees are some rabbits. It's early morning for our walk and the rabbits are out. So we're going to place our hands on the mat. We're going to do some bunny hops. So you're flipping your feet up shoulders over your hands, like a tiny little handstand, but keeping your knees bent and just flipping them up. So let's do 3 more. 1, 2, and 3. Fabulous. And down in the woods is a woodland pond, and in the pond is a frog. So let's come down onto our feet, bring your hands together, and see if you can rock back onto your heels. This is where your cushion or your blanket comes in handy. So if you can't put your heels on the ground without falling backwards, just take your cushion and put them under your heels, and then you can rest onto your feet. If you're happy on your feet, we're going to do a little bit of frog jumping. So when frogs leap, they stretch their legs out straight. So we're going to leap up into the air and come back down to your toes. Let's do that again. Leaping up and leaping down. See if you can land on your toes and do it really quietly. Go ahead and do 1 more, or a few more if you're feeling energetic today. And sitting in the trees next to us is a crow. So for crow pose, we need this cushion, really important, or blanket. If you don't have a cushion or blanket, what you can do is roll up your yoga mat and it's a few thicknesses to place under your head. Because what we need to do here is have something under our heads in case we fall. So we're going to put our hands on the mat, bring your knees wide and bend your elbows. And we're going to just roll onto our toes, making sure the cushion is there in case we fall forward. So our head is protected. It's going to go up on the toes, and you can stay here in a baby crow, balancing on the tops of your arms. Or if you want, you can lift 1 foot, imagine it's a wing, and maybe then try the other foot. If you're happy, stay there. If not, you want to fly, you can just lift your feet off the floor, remembering that that cushion is underneath you, and fly your crow, or just stay like a baby crow sitting on a branch. And then we're going to rock back into our frog pose. Beautiful. So what else is in the woods? Well, there's a squirrel looking for acorns. So let's make ourselves into a tiny little acorn, as small as you can, small and round, and buried deep in the ground. And around the acorn are some squirrels digging. Let's imagine that we're digging for that acorn. And we're going to create ourselves a squirrel shape. So squirrels have little paws for digging in the earth, looking for the squirrels that they hide, looking for the acorns that they hide, and they have long bushy tails. So we're going to reach 1 leg back like a tail, and the tails are really important for the squirrels because when they leap from tree to tree, it helps keep them balanced. And then we're going to stretch out the other leg like a tail. Really nice. And then we're going to come back, and we're going to come up now into an aeroplane, because high above the treetops there's an aeroplane flying. So let's balance on 1 leg and bring your other leg back, reaching your arms out like an aeroplane. See if you can get your body straight and level. Remember that drishti point. Let's find something to look at with our eyes on the floor. Take some big deep breaths. Imagine your aeroplane is flying really high up among the clouds. And let's take the other leg, stretching it out. Can you stay still and balanced? And coming back. So let's make ourselves into a really big tree now. So think about what kind of tree you might be. Maybe you're an oak tree. We're going to stretch out our branches, make a really big tree trunk. I'm going to imagine that a storm is coming. So this starts with the wind blowing. Take some some big deep breaths like the wind. And it's raindrops. So let's start by doing a little tapping on our heads, on our faces, like raindrops. And the storm is getting stronger, so let's whoosh our arms all the way around our body, however you like, because that storm is so big and strong that one of our branches is going to fall. So we're going to imagine that we're going to flop down onto the ground and bring your knees one way and your arms the other. Imagining you're a broken branch fallen onto the ground. And let's just rock our feet the other way and be a broken branch in the other direction. And then stretch out your legs and your arms, and we're going to roll onto our tummies and back onto our backs like a rolling log, and give your knees a squeeze. So we're going to roll now and be a tiny little mouse hiding in some flowers. So maybe you've got whiskers, maybe you've got ears, and we're going to move like a tiny little mouse, just shuffling around your mat as slowly and quietly as you can, because mice have lots of predators who like to eat them, so we need to be quiet. So see if you can move quietly backwards and forwards around your mat. And hiding, the mouse is hiding in the flowers, so let's make ourselves a flower. So we're going to sit up tall, bring your feet together, place your hands in the middle, hook them under your legs to make petals, and we're going to draw our legs up like a tall flower, reaching our petals up, our feet, our toes and our fingers up towards the sunshine. And balancing in our flower pose. See if you can stay still, like a flower reaching towards the sun. And let's come out, because high up, in above the treetops, circling is an eagle, looking for its dinner, which is why our mouse is hiding. So let's create an eagle pose. We're going to take one leg and bring it over the other, and see if you can wrap it around behind the leg you're standing on. And we take our big eagle wings. And we're going to wrap one arm over the other and bring your hands together to make our eagle beak. See if you can stay absolutely still here, looking down through the trees with your eagle eyes, looking for a mouse. And let's swap legs. Wrapping one leg over and behind, stretching out your eagle wings, bring the other arm on top this time, and find the palms of your hands together to make your eagle beak. Looking down a little bit closer, see if you can bend all the way down, try and spot that mouse, and we're going to pounce to be a little mouse, but the little mouse can escape, so let's walk around our mat, shuffling really quietly. The little mouse runs to freedom. It's time for us to go back. So let's come back into our dog pose. And the dog walks slowly back home. And it shakes its body, shaking off the rain. And we're going to come back to lying on our mat to finish our yoga practice today with the relaxation. So if you've still got your pillow and you want to use that either under your head, or you can give it a hug if that feels nice. And we're going to take some big deep breaths to really relax our bodies, because we've stretched out and we've done some energetic yoga, some jumping and balancing. And now it's time for us to rest. So we're just going to spend a couple of minutes. You can spend longer if you like, if it feels good. Just being quiet and still so that we can feel really calm and good in our bodies. We're going to hold our hands onto our tummies now. Go ahead and close your eyes. Now I want you to see what images or colours or shapes you can see behind your eyelids. And as you breathe, notice if your tummy moves. Does it get bigger as you breathe in? Like a balloon filling with air. And smaller as you breathe out, as you let go of the air. And if you're struggling to be still and quiet, sometimes it's difficult, we're going to squeeze our fingers, take a big breath in, and a big breath out, breathing out any fire in our bodies. And go ahead, do that a few more times if you feel like it. If your legs are feeling restless, we can shake them out and do jelly legs. And then when you're ready, you can flop them back down onto the ground. And go ahead and take a few minutes just to lie still here. Just enjoying the peace and the calm after our yoga walk in the woods. Namaste.